guys, it is Amelia from Live Well and Live Frugal. My camera's having some focusing problems. Okay, there we go. And today I'm making eggplant parmesan. That is what's in front of you, and it is actually going to be quite a frugal recipe for me to make, and I'll explain why. But right now it is about 2 p.m. and I am actually cutting them, and I'm going to salt my eggplant rounds and let them rest to help absorb some of the moisture. That way they do not come out mushy when I bake them. So I'm going to finish cutting this up, and then I'll salt them, and I might lay them on some paper towels. That way it helps absorb the moisture. This eggplant costs me 99 cents at Dillon's or Kroger's, whatever it's called, where you're at. They're on sale. And I also found some real Parmesan cheese that was marked down for, I think it was $1.29, but I'll check when we get to that step. And yeah, so not too expensive for those ingredients, and I believe like my tomato sauce and stuff was very cheap as well. But we'll get into the cost a little bit later. But overall, it's going to be a very inexpensive meal, I think. Trying to get all the eggplant. This isn't the best knife to use, for sure. Just thought it might help me make smaller cuts. Okay. Okie dokie. So I got quite a few eggplant rounds. So I'm going to get a baking sheet like this. I'm going to move this. Oh, making them fall. An edge, and I'm going to get some paper towels to line them with. Okay, so I got some paper towels. I usually don't use a lot of paper towels, but I think it would just be easier to do this on paper towels than to try to get my rack out that I have. So I'm going to just set these all on my cookie sheet first. Like so. And then I'm going to salt the side, and I'm going to use actually some pink Himalayan salt. You can get this at the Dollar Tree, which is a really good deal. And I'm just going to sprinkle some over, and then you want to flip it. If I flip that one. And salt the other side. And that is it. So you're going to let this rest for about 2 hours, and I will be back. Okay, so I'm getting ready to set my dredge station up, and I'll go over this in just a bit. But these are what my eggplant look like. See how I'm going to take them off. And I'm just going to kind of turn them on both sides and blot them on the napkin a little bit. The paper towels, if they seem a little wet. I'm just stacking them on my cutting board for right now. And I'm stacking them on my cutting board right now, and I'm going to preheat my oven to 425. I got that going. always forget to preheat oven, so when I remember, I'm like, oh, I need to. Okay, so now you can see how much liquid, see how see-through, like you can see my fingers, it means it's really wet. Gets quite a bit of liquid out of them. That way they don't get mushy. Now, I'm going to go ahead and spray my pan with some oil, and I'm actually going to be using some olive oil, and I have this little Mistro sprayer that you have to pump it to be able to spray it. But it works with all different kinds of oil, and I think we got it at like Goodwill Distro or something, or maybe just Goodwill, I don't remember, but I really like it. Okie dokie. So I got that nice and sprayed. Smells good. So I'm going to set my pan over there and bring my eggplants over here. So I have flour. I'm going to break 2 eggs in another bowl. Only bad thing about this is it is kind of makes quite a bit of dishes, but that's okay. Oh, I got an eggshell. I hate when I do that. There we go. Got them out. Okie dokie. So, next we're going to have to... Sorry, I'm kind of spacing out a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just beat these together real quick, whisk them together. And these are my breadcrumbs that I make from like leftover heels and cereal. And I'm going to be using that today. And I started with 2 eggs and just a little bit of breadcrumbs because I'm not sure how much I'll actually use. And I'm going to add a little bit of this pizzeria sauce to my breadcrumbs for seasoning, since they are not seasoned. Just a little bit. This stuff's like gold for me. I can't find it anymore, so just going to use a little bit. I'm going to just shake that in there. And then also to my breadcrumbs, I'm going to add some Parmesan. Now this I got on sale at Dillon's for $1.29, which is a really good price for grated Parmesan. Now, this is why this part of this meal is frugal, because it's only $1.29. Now, originally these can go anywhere from $3 to $4. Now, so they're quite expensive, but you can always use the, powdered canned Parmesan, or even better, Aldi's usually has a tub of grated Parmesan for about $1.99. So it's still pretty good price for the better quality stuff if you go to Aldi's, or if you have access to Aldi's, or like I did, keep your eye out, because this is still good, but still good for quite a while, for a little bit. It's good till the 26th, and today is the, what is today? The 19th, I believe. Yeah, today's the 19th, so I still have about a week to use it. So I'm just going to add a little bit of this and mix it in with my hands, because my hands are clean. I'm just breaking up a little bit. I should have got like the powdered kind for this, but I didn't. It's just going to have to work. So the first thing you do is you put your eggplant in flour, and then you put it in the egg, and then you put it in the breading. Lay it down. And you just do that with all of them. And you have to bake these first, and then after that you assemble the casserole after you bake these. So you need, after you get these all covered with the breadcrumbs and stuff, you need to bake them at 425 for about 18 to 20 minutes. Or 22 minutes. So I'm going to finish doing this, and I'll be back when they're done baking. So I did forget to mention that once you get them breaded, you need to drizzle, or I'm going to just spray some olive oil on top. It's up to you what you want to do. I just find this less messy for me, and I have the option to spray it. So I'm going to spray quite a bit. I mean, I don't want to skimp on it on top. Okie dokie. And then I'm going to bake them, like I said before, for 18 to 22 minutes at, I think it's 425. I'll have the recipe linked below though. And I'm going to also start on my sauce while these are cooking. So I'll be back with the sauce. Okay, so I'm getting ready to make my sauce, and this is what I'm putting in my sauce. Most of this is totally optional, so if you don't have it, that's fine. You can do a lot of substituting, and I'll tell you how. I'm putting mushrooms in them because I want to use these mushrooms up, and I love sauce with mushrooms. I'm putting about 3/4 of an onion in because it's what I had left. Probably more like a half an onion. What I had left from another recipe, and I just wanted to use it up. If you don't have onion, you can always use onion powder. I had 2 cloves of garlic, so I went ahead and used those up right here. And I just chopped them. You can press them if you want. If you don't have garlic, you can also use a little bit of garlic powder. And then to kind of help, since I didn't have a lot of garlic and onion, I put some chives in there that I had. Ribbon chives that I just wanted to get used up. So really, you can do all the, if you don't like mushrooms, don't add them. You don't need the chives. If you don't have onions or garlic, you can use the powdered version. Also, to make it even cheaper, and if you don't like making your own sauce, you can just buy a can of sauce, usually like Hunt sauce or the off-brand for $1 or less. You can even get them at the Dollar Tree. Or you can get a better sauce like ragu or, you know, that type of sauce, the ones in the glass jars. I usually just get, I do have canned sauce, but I like using it when I don't have any other options. And I usually just get the traditional and still add this stuff. But there's many ways you can make your sauce, and if you want to be cheaper, you can go cheaper with just using a regular can of sauce and maybe add some seasoning or not. Or you can add the veggies like this that you have. You can also add squash, that's good. So I'm going to be putting this first in my pan and sauteing it with a little bit of butter. You can also use olive oil. If you don't have olive oil, you can use, I don't know, maybe a little lard or bacon fat, whatever you have. Doesn't have to be fancy. Let it focus. So that is what it looks like, and I will cook this real quick, and then I'm going to add my tomato bases. So I will be right back. Okay, so as my stuff for my sauce is cooking and the eggplant's baking, I'm going to cut up this mozzarella that I got. It's fresh mozzarella. It's usually like $4 at Dillon's. I got it for 99 cents. Now you do not need this to make Eggplant Parmesan. You can use a block of mozzarella and shred it. And you can get blocks of mozzarellas at Aldi's for about $1.79, at least in my area. And you can use about half a block. Or you could get you could get a you know, the Parmesan that I used earlier, you could just use that, the rest of that container. That way you wouldn't have to buy an extra cheese. So there's many variations that you can make to make this more frugal. Like I said, I'm using this because I got it for 99 cents at Dillon's, and I think it will be delicious. And it was, I got like 4 of them because I don't think I've ever had this kind of mozzarella, and I was really excited. And it tastes really super good. So I am just literally cutting them kind of in chunks. Not too thick. See, that might be a little bit too thick. I'm not really sure how you're supposed to cut mozzarella, so bear with me. If I'm doing it wrong, let me know. Oh, I think I'm doing it wrong. Okay. Well, anyways, it doesn't really matter. It's all they melt. So I'm just going to finish cutting this up, and I'll be back once my eggplant are done. Should be done in like 3 minutes, and my sauce is ready for the next step. So I will be right back. Okay, so my veggies have cooked a little bit. I didn't cook them too much. I just wanted them to get kind of a little bit of color. And they have, so I'm going to sit them down here. They smell really good. And I'm going to add this pasta sauce in the can I had. And this is just traditional low sodium pasta sauce. And I'm just using it because I wanted to use it up. And then I have some tomato sauce. I don't know if you guys can see. Let's see if I can. There we go. Just regular tomato sauce. And this is a huge can, but I'm only going to use about half of it. So I'm going to be using about 14 ounces. And then I have some tomatoes. Now I don't want to make my sauce too runny, so I'm going to actually use a slotted spoon, and I'm going to scoop these tomatoes out as carefully as I can to get some of the liquid out. Now I buy my tomatoes, when I don't use fresh, in big cans, so I'm going to be using about half of a big can, which is about 14 ounces. So, and then I'm going to mix it together. And I'm going to add my favorite Italian type seasoning, which is, I think it's Tastefully Simple Pizzeria. If you guys find this anywhere, let me know, because they aren't selling it right now. Anyways, I'm going to put, quite, like, I don't know, a handful of it in there, and then I'll taste it later. I really like how this makes my sauce taste. I really don't like Italian seasoning, so let's see. So I like how this makes it taste. Okay, so I'm going to mix this together and put it over the heat and just heat it up. Let all the flavors combined. I'll be back. Okay, so I'm going to show you a tip real quick. I'm actually going to save my tomatoes and my tomato sauce that I haven't used, and I'm going to freeze it. Well, you know, you can save these separately, but I'm actually going to just freeze it in a big bag together. And I'm with the rest of the tomato liquid and everything. And then I know I can use this for chili. So this will be for chili later on this week or next week, because I'm planning on making chili. Or, like I said, you can freeze them separately, but since I know I'm making chili, and this is what I usually use for chili, tomato sauce and some diced tomatoes, I'm just going to put them in there together. So, just a tip if you have leftovers, or if you buy in bigger containers. This video is kind of everywhere, so sorry guys. Anyways, my eggplant is done. It's cooling. I'm just letting my sauce heat up a little bit. I don't need to cook it because I'm going to be baking this dish. So I just need to make sure I'm just heating it up because it's a more homemade type of sauce. and I want to make sure all the flavors mingle well. So, anyways, I will be back when my sauce is done and I'm ready to put the casserole together. Okay, so I have a dish right here, and I'm just going to use a small one since it's just me and Donovan. If you want to make more for a bigger family, you would need more eggplant. I think my sauce is going to be plenty. Now, this is more of a chunky sauce and not like a traditional eggplant parmesan sauce. So just keep that in mind. If you want a more traditional one, you're going to have to find a different sauce recipe, or like I said, you can just use like a regular spaghetti sauce. Just use what you have on hand. That helps keep this dish super frugal. Okay, then I'm just going to line the eggplant. As close together as I can. And they said you can also sprinkle some Parmesan cheese on each layer, but I'm actually going to skip that step because that seems like a lot of cheese to me. But if you don't have the mozzarella cheese, this is where you would sprinkle your Parmesan cheese on. I think that is going to be good. I'm just going to put this in the middle. Okay, so I'm going to take my mozzarella and then I'm going to lay it over everything. And I think that's plenty. Like, I don't think I'm going to use all of it, because that looked like a lot of cheese to me. I think I could... Yeah. Move these around a little bit. Okay. That looks like a lot. Okay, so I'm going to put most of the rest of the sauce on it. Okay. Sorry if it's out of focusing a lot. My camera tends to do that when it's zoomed in. I'm going to try to zoom us out just a little bit. There we go. So now I'm going to really pile on the sauce and get it down in those crevices. There we go. Yummy! But you don't want to use all of your sauce. And then you want to put more eggplants. On top. Whoa. Okay. And then I'm just going to pour the rest of the sauce over those. And this is where you would top it with Parmesan or really any cheese you have. I'm just going to use the leftover mozzarella cheese I have. That way I don't use my Parmesan and I don't have to waste it. So I'm just going to kind of tear it up and plop it on wherever I want. Oops. Just tear it up into little pieces and plop it on. That way, because I didn't have a lot left, and I don't want to have to save just that little bit when I know I can use my Parmesan for other stuff. Okay, so I'm going to bake this now, and let me go check what the temperature is I need to bake it at and how long. Okay, so I'm going to bake this for 35 minutes at 350. I will be back when it's done. Okay, it is done, and I am going to make some garlic bread really quick, and or toasted bread. I'm probably not going to put garlic on it because I don't think we have any. I'm going to make some like toasted bread really quick to go with this, and probably a salad, and I'll be back when I get ready to serve it. I'm just going to let it cool off a little bit because it is still kind of bubbly, so I will be back. Okay, so here's our eggplant parmesan with a salad and a piece of bread. Looks totally yummy. Below down in the description box, I'll have a price breakdown for the eggplant parmesan, and I also got the bread on sale. It was like day-old bread, so I just toasted it up and it looks great. But I'll have that down in the description box. If you like this video, remember to give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and remember to live well and live frugal.